Today, I'm going to share with you the pros and cons of living in Baltimore, Maryland. All the stuff you need to know before you make your move here to the Baltimore area. And we're getting started right now. What's up, everyone? It's Adam Taylor with the Relentless Home Group right here in Baltimore, Maryland. Hey, if this is your first time to our channel and you're looking to learn all about living in Baltimore, great news, you're in the right spot. We do videos each and every week talking about living here, working here, commuting, playing here, and so much more. So if that is the information that you're looking for, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Give the little bell a click, that way you're alerted and you don't miss out on any new content we put out. All right, now, I've got to be honest with you. We are receiving so many phone calls, text messages, and emails from people all over the world looking to move or relocate right here to Baltimore, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move, we just need one thing from you, and that's for you to reach out to us. So please give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you need to get a hold of us. We've got your back. We're moving right here to Baltimore or anywhere else in the great state of Maryland. Today we're going to break down all of the pros and cons of living right here in Baltimore. The things I absolutely love, the things that I can't stand. Now make sure you stick around to the end because there's a new one that I really want to share with you, and quite honestly, it's going to shock you, and it's updated here for 2021. So let's just jump right in, and I'm going to call the big elephant out in the room, and that's the crime. People seem to associate Baltimore as a high crime-ridden city. Do we have crime? Sure, we have crime. Just like every other large metropolitan city. You name it, every city's got crime. Now, why does Baltimore have basically the spotlight on them? Well, it's because Hollywood comes in here and films TV shows like The Wire or Homicide. And that just puts a negative spin on everyone's view of Baltimore. Let's take a good example that just happened recently here over the last year. And that was the riots that ensued all throughout the country with the passing of George Floyd. Now, what you didn't see, although the cameras were here, was Baltimore on the mainstream news. Why? Because it was peaceful here, my friends. That was the thing that was great about it, okay? And the Baltimore protesters actually helped the Baltimore City Police Department in securing anybody who decided to cause trouble here. And the community here in Baltimore really just bonded around that, and they were able to get their voices heard and do it in a peaceful manner. So Baltimore is going through this great transition into the awesome city that I know and love and the place that I call home. The good part is Brandon Scott, he's our new mayor, and he's just putting this new perspective on connecting with the community. And the good thing about Brandon's a guy in his 30s. And he really just seems to get Baltimore because he lived here and he grew up right here on the streets of Baltimore. So if you want to check the crime stats, I'll drop a link in the description of the video below. You can check it out for yourself. Here it is in a nutshell. Stay out of the spots that are bad. It's pretty easy to figure out where they are and where the good spots are, okay? Near all of the major attractions downtown in the Inner Harbor, it's a pretty safe spot. I go down with my 3 kids all the time. We never have trouble. We never have trouble going to Orioles or Ravens games, sporting events, nothing, okay? So be cognizant, obviously, of your surroundings, but make your own decision. Come here to Baltimore, check us out. If you think it's a bad spot, then you made your decision already, my friends. Let's talk about the weather here in Baltimore. So here in the Mid-Atlantic, we get all 4 seasons. So we get winter, spring, summer, and fall. And all of them have their pros and cons, all right? So in the winter, if you love snow, we'll get tons of snow, just not every year. We'll get feet. We've got blizzards here, tons of ice. That stuff comes, and trees fall, and people crash on the roads because of not knowing how to drive in the snow and ice. It does happen, okay? Spring is absolutely gorgeous here. Some cool things you can do in the spring with all the flowers and trees blooming and everything. We've got pretty easy access to get down to DC, and you can go down for the Cherry Blossom Festival. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Happens towards the end of March and the beginning of April. Now, as we get into summer, Summer starts here roughly right around the beginning of June, and the temperatures, they will get hot. We can reach triple digits here in the Baltimore area with 100% humidity, my friends, okay? And what that means to you, those of you that aren't used to humidity, you're gonna be kind of like wheezing when you're out there walking. Your clothes are going to be soaked, even though you just walked from your car inside to the grocery store. So be prepared for that. If you have heated and cooled seats, you're gonna make full use of them here in Baltimore. In our fall season, it's great here. I mean, we've got so much foliage and you get to see the seasons change, especially if you go through like our state parks or drive out to the mountains in Western Maryland. It's stunning. And to the point where a ton of weddings are actually done in the fall here in Baltimore because these couples want these beautiful pictures with all of the falling leaves that are changing colors. So if you like all four seasons, you're in for a winner, my friends, right here in the Mid-Atlantic. This one is for my sports fans. If you like professional sports, we got it all right here in Baltimore. So we are home to the Baltimore Ravens and the Baltimore Orioles. Now, what's great is, yes, those are our two major sports teams right here in Baltimore. But just down the way in DC, you have the Washington Football Club, the Washington Nationals, you have the Washington Wizards, NHL hockey with the Capitals, WNBA basketball, professional soccer, and DC. Conversely, you also have it up in Philly. All of it is really, really close to Baltimore. So no matter if you are coming from out of town and you're like, darn, my team's a National League team and I probably won't be able to see them in Baltimore, sure you can. You can just go down to DC. It's a 45-minute drive and you can watch a ball game right down there. So you sports fans, you're in luck. You're in a great spot. Let's talk about food. You food lovers, you're gonna love Baltimore or anywhere else in Maryland, quite frankly. And we're known, obviously, here for our seafood, steamed crabs, crab cakes, the delight, okay? That's just the national media's perspective of what's only offered in Baltimore. Us Marylanders know there is so much more that we have that's amazing. Take downtown right now, for example, okay? Right in Baltimore, you've got Little Italy, which is a little tucked in pocket of Baltimore at the corner of the Inner Harbor and Fells Point. And it's these basically mom and pop Italian restaurants right in like a 2-block radius. And they are just magnificent. You've got to just go check it out. I don't want to spoil everything for you, but Little Italy is amazing. You can also head out to Greektown, which is just east of that. And you can get authentic Greek food made right there in front of you. The spanakopita's that some of these Greek restaurants offer, they're absolutely amazing. Now, if you are looking for seafood, you can't go wrong here, all right? You can get your steamed crabs. I highly recommend Bo Brooks or Conrad's Seafood for your steamed crabs. In addition to that, some of the best crab cakes in town are right here in the Baltimore area. Personally, I'm a big fan of Box Hill Crab Cakes, located in Abingdon, just outside of Baltimore. They're absolutely amazing. And as a matter of fact, you know what? You can actually get your own crab cakes delivered from Box Hill. I'll go ahead and put a link below for you to check those out. Now, it doesn't stop there. What do you need with great food? You need a great drink. And Baltimore has just flourished with all these local breweries here in the area, as well as wineries. So make sure you check out some of our local wineries, food options. You're sure to find something you absolutely love. You outdoor lovers are gonna fall in love with Maryland. Here's why. We've got a ton of water, number one. So if you're a boater, a fisherman, a crabber, or even just like laying out on the beach and going into the ocean, we got it all right here. We've got the Chesapeake Bay where you can do all of that. In addition to that, we are only about a 3-hour drive to Ocean City, Maryland, where we've got full access to the Atlantic Ocean, okay? Now, inside of the Baltimore area, or even in the suburbs, we've got a ton of like state parks and running trails, and doggy parks have just like exploded here in the area. I kind of think that the dog park evolution is upon us right now, right? So some great spots you might want to check out. You've got Gunpowder State Park. Downtown you have Patterson Park, Canton Waterfront Park. You have Wyman Park, Loch Raven Reservoir is a great spot. It's got a lot of mountain biking trails and hiking trails there. And Greenbrier State Park out in Western Maryland is another good spot. So check out all these places and you're sure to find something you love. But if you're an outdoors person and you're active, you're a runner, you're a biker, we got tons of stuff right here in the area for you to do. So let's talk about the traffic in Baltimore. It's not good, okay? I'm just gonna say it right now. It's not fun, it's not good. You're gonna sit in traffic quite a bit. With COVID, thankfully, we haven't had to do that because a lot of people are telecommuting, which has been great, but schools are reopening and traffic is picking back up again. Some problem spots here in Baltimore are Interstate 95, which runs really on the eastern corner of Baltimore City, north and south. You have the Baltimore Beltway, which is Interstate 695. You have Interstate 70, which is on the western side of the Beltway. Interstate 83, which runs north and south out of Baltimore City. You got to be careful on Interstate 83 because as you come in the city, it gets real windy right down toward the end of it, and the entire roadway is actually elevated. It's like you're riding on a bridge for probably the last 3 miles is what it seems like to me. And there are a lot of real bad wrecks in Baltimore during the winter season when the ice or snow builds up and you come around one of those turns pretty fast. It doesn't end so well. So be very careful on Interstate 83. And lastly, like the points south of Baltimore, like Interstate 95 going south or 295, which goes down directly into Washington, D.C., that really gets a little congested right around the Fort Meade area, all the way down to D.C. And then if you got to go into D.C., I will pray for you, okay? Because DC's Beltway, Interstate 495 is an absolute mess, and I'm just going to leave it right there. So be prepared for that, but also be prepared to open up your wallet. Here's why. We've got tolls like everywhere. And folks that live on the east side of Baltimore are going to be hit hardest because we have to travel in and out of the city using the tunnel system. So you have the old tunnel, which is the Harbor Tunnel, and the Fort McHenry Tunnel, both of which go into Baltimore. And you're gonna have to pay a toll each way. But just be ready and prepared for the traffic here in Baltimore. Job growth is really starting to take off here in Baltimore. And we're seeing a lot of people get jobs in the healthcare industry and really the defense sector as well as the tech sector. With Johns Hopkins being the largest healthcare employer in Baltimore, the university coupled with the hospital system, if you're in healthcare, you've pretty much going to find a job over Johns Hopkins. I mean, they have so much going on. In addition to that, Emergent is a company that's putting out a lot of the COVID vaccine. You've probably seen them on TV quite recently all over the world, as their offices are located right next to the Bayview campus of Johns Hopkins. They're bringing in a ton of people. Amazon decided to open up a distribution center here in Baltimore. Under Armour's corporate headquarters are right here in Baltimore. And then you have, like I said, all of the government jobs. You have a lot of DoD jobs. We're close to the NSA. We are just 45-minute drive from the Pentagon and DC, so a ton of defense jobs. And then lastly, the tech sector or even the government contractors that are affiliated with a lot of the Department of Defense are right here in Baltimore. So check those fields out if you're looking for employment in the Baltimore area. So tell me something. What's something fun that you absolutely love doing when you're not working? Maybe it's going camping. Maybe it's go-karting, riding a bike, getting outside to run. There's just so much. Drop it in the comments below. The reason I want you to do that is I want to connect you with a great resource. Maybe it's a gym or a yoga studio that you want to go to, a cycling studio. I'm going to drop those in here so that you can check these places out before you make your transition here to the Maryland area. So drop that comment below. If you need to travel for work or for pleasure, even just to get away, you're in luck. I mean, we've got it all right here in Baltimore. You've got BWI Airport, which you can pretty much find a flight anywhere in the world that you need to right here. BWI is also a hub for Southwest Airlines, which makes getting cheap flights in and out of town an absolute breeze. Now, if for some reason you're traveling internationally and you can't find the flight that you need, good news. We're only a 45-minute drive to Washington, D.C. We also have the Amtrak railway system, which runs right up and down the East Coast, right through Baltimore. So if you're going to points north, like up to New York or Philadelphia or Boston even, as well as points south, like even down to DC, you can use, to commute to DC, you can use the MARC train, but you can use Amtrak going up and down the East Coast. It's great. You're going to be able to find and pretty much get wherever you need to go. Now, I didn't forget about you cruise lovers, okay? Here's something new that's happened here within the last decade. We can actually board cruise ships without having to fly to points south, like down to Florida or anything like that, right here in Baltimore. Yeah, so what's cool is like Carnival and I believe like Royal Caribbean, they have ports here in Baltimore, and you go right out to Chesapeake Bay, out to the Atlantic Ocean, and boom, you're on a cruise and you're not having to go anywhere. So that's something relatively new that's really, really cool that a lot of people are taking advantage of. So the last thing I want to leave you with is this. You need to be prepared when looking for housing here in Baltimore for sticker shock. Quite frankly, our housing rates on the rental side as well as purchasing homes has gone through the roof. Now, that is because of low interest rates and there's a nationwide housing shortage. And Baltimore is not immune to that, right? So what used to cost you about $300,000 for a nice single family home with a garage and a little yard for the dog to run around in is probably going to cost you anywhere from $375 to $400 to get a good size single family home, 3 to 4 bedrooms in a nice part of town with decent schools. Now, those of you that are looking to purchase your first home, what used to cost you about $175 to $200 for a starter like townhome is now going to cost you a minimum of about $250,000. And if that wasn't what you were looking for, and you're wanting to rent something, I've received multiple requests here recently. Hey, I want a rent, rent an apartment, and I want to pay $900 to $1,000 a month. Look, I'm going to tell you, it's not out there in a safe part of town. Okay, you need to be prepared to pay rental rates of about $1,600 on up to about $2,200, depending upon where you're living and what your housing needs are. So again, this was just to prepare you for the sticker shock when you do come here. Now, I do get clients coming down from New York all the time, and they're like, oh, this isn't so bad. I used to pay, triple that in New York. Well, that's New York, okay? Us Marylanders who have watched the housing prices go up and up and up, it's kind of driving us a little bit bonkers. So nonetheless, I just want to prepare you and make sure you're in good hands and you know what to expect when coming here to Maryland. Now, if that move is in the near future, as I mentioned before, my team and I, look, we want to help you, okay? But we need one thing from you. We need you to start the conversation by reaching out to us. So again, please give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email, however you need to get a hold of us. We've got your back. We're moving anywhere here in Maryland. Until the next video, I will catch you later.